Hello guys, hope you are doing well. In this tutorial we are going to learn about Vue.js data binding. In previous tutorial we have learned about Laravel routing. So let's start the today's tutorial. In today's tutorial we'll cover these points. So first we'll see what is exactly the data binding and how it is used. Then Vue.js class and style binding. Then we'll see what is class binding, what are the different examples of class binding. Then next is the how we can assign the multiple classes for the element. Then we'll see how we can assign the multiple classes using array. We'll see the example as well. Then at the last we'll see inline style binding. So these are the points we'll cover in this tutorial. So let's start from the first. So what is data binding? So data binding is one important feature of the Vue.js. So as the name suggests, it binds the data with the help of directives. So you all are thinking about what is directives, right? So directive is one special HTML attributes that allows us to manipulate the DOM. DOM means document object model. So in another way we can say data binding is a technique to bind the data in the form of classes and styles for the element. Then what is Vue.js class and style binding? So for changing the styles and to assign the different classes for the element, Vue.js provides us the binding directives, that is v-bind. So let's see the example so you will clear the point. I'm just opening the Laravel and Vue project and I'm running that project on a local development server. So I have already run that project on the local server. So this is our project. So this is the parent component that we have created in a previous tutorial. So I will use that component to update the code. So this is our parent component template. So I am just updating this code. So let's see the first example, that is Vue.js class and style binding. So let's see first example. So first I am adding one link here, it is anchor tag. So we'll use the Vbind directive here. So v-bind, so it binds the data for the element. So I'm just binding the href attribute. I'm passing here one link. Then we'll open this link on another tab. So I'm just adding the target here. And we'll pass, this is the test link, is the variable that we need to initiate here under the data property. So I'm just initializing here. So I'm just passing one link, that it's https://google.com. So let's see on a browser. I'm just refreshing this page. Here you will see the click here link is available. So I'm just clicking on that link. Then on the another tab this page is open. So this is the example, or this is how we can bind the data or href attribute with the help of this vbind directive. So this is the directive that Vue.js provides us. Next is the Vue.js class binding. So what is class binding? So for binding the classes, Vue.js provides us the Vbind class directive. So let's see the example of class binding. So I'm adding another element, that is div element. And use that binding directive, that is v-bind :class, to bind the classes. So I'm passing here a display class, or with the help of this display class will add some styling. So this is the display class. So let's add one style, but before that we need to initialize that is display variable. So I'm just initializing this variable, so we'll set it as true. Also we need to add the style tag here for applying the CSS. So for display class we need to add some styling here. So I'm adding here background color for the div element. Also we need to add here width and height for that element. So I'm just adding the width attribute. Also we need to pass here height. So let's check style binding example. So I'm just refreshing this page. So here you will see the div element that we have created, or we have passed some styling with the help of this vbind directive. So we have just added this class, that is display class, and just we have set it as true with the help of this variable, and this is the styling for that element. So this is the class binding. Let's see how we can use the assign multiple classes, how we can assign the multiple classes with the help of vbind directive. So let's see the example of that. So I'm just updating this example. So here I'm also adding another class, that is allow. You can pass any other name, whatever you want. So I'm just adding here one variable. Also we need to set it as true. So I'm adding the style for that class. So just adding this allow class with the margin top, (40 pixel). So let's see on a browser. So here you will see I've added two classes. First, the class we have passed some styling for that, that's width, height and background color for the div element. Then second class that I have added, that is easel allow class, and will set it as true with the help of this variable. And just I have added the styling for that class, it is margin of 40 pixels. So here you will see some space at the above the div element. So I'm just refreshing this page. So here you will see some space is added. So this is the example of assign multiple classes. So this is how we can add the multiple classes for the div element. The next is the assign multiple classes with the help of using array. So we can add the multiple classes through the array. So let's see the example. So I'm just adding the new element, and I'm just using the same binding directive, that is Vbind class directive, to add some classes. So we need to pass here array, and under that array we need to pass the classes names. So I'm just adding one class, display class, and another class, that is error class. And we need to initialize these classes. This is not actually the classes, these are the variables. We need to pass here classes with the help of this variable. So I'm just passing here as display class, and another is the error class. This is the variable we need to pass another class with the help of this variable. So we are just adding some styling for that classes. So first we need to add some background and width and height for that element. So I'm just first adding the width attribute. Let's say I'm adding here 400 width, and then height again same 400, and when we are adding one background color, that is red. So let's check. So I'm just refreshing this page. So here you will see another div element is added on. We have added some styles with the help of this bind directive. So we have added the classes with the help of array. So this is the example of how we can add the multiple classes using array. The next is the inline style binding. So you all are know about the inline styling, how we can add the CSS for the element, but in a Vue.js we'll use the binding directive for that. So let's see the example. So I'm adding another div, we use same binding directives. Sorry, we need to add here style, inline styling, so we'll use the style directive. And we'll pass some styling. So first we'll add color. We'll add the color class, and we are specifying here color. So we can pass the color with the help of variable. So I'm adding here one variable, active color. Also we are passing width, so we'll pass the width variable, and just we are appending the unit, that is pixel. Also we are adding here height. So we have added one pixel unit. So we need to pass the color here. We're passing background actually, not color. So background. So we need to pass here color value. We'll pass the green color. Then we'll pass the width. $100. Then we need to pass here height 100. So this is how we can bind a style with the help of style directive. So we have first added the background, that is active color green. Then we'll have added the width, and with the help of width variable we have set the width for the div element, then height. So let's check. I'm just refreshing this page. So here you will see the div element is added, that is we have passed the green color for that. So these are the examples of the binding directives. So first we have learned about data binding, then we have learned about classes and style binding. So this is most commonly used the binding, that is class binding. So how we can add the classes with the help of Vbind directive. So this is the Vbind :class. This is the syntax for that. So as like this, there are multiple directives are available. Vue just provides us the multiple directives to bind the data. So also we can add the multiple classes with the help of array. So we have learned about the how we can pass the multiple classes through the array. Then we have learned about how we can bind the style for the element. So these are the examples of this data binding. So thank you for watching this tutorial. We'll see you in the next tutorial. Goodbye, take care, happy coding.